on the banks of the Grand River, high above the Elora Gorge. This is the Buzzr Podcast. Indie music, new releases, industry insiders, out-of-the-box conversations with guests from the true north, from the west coast to the east coast, to across the pond, and from down under. And now, here is Shay.
Hey, Shay here, the Buzzr Indie on the air. Welcome and enjoy. Episode 10. Yet first, trivia boiled down for February the 9th. The Beatles set new records in 1964 for television ratings. They appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show. 73 million viewers tuned in, which was about 3/4 of the total U.S. audience. Like, crazy, man. In 1981, American singer and musician Bill Haley died of a heart attack at age 55. We know Haley as the first rock and roll star, and if you watched Happy Days, you've heard his hit Rock Around the Clock. Rest in peace. Today we have Canadian indie rock band The Jailbirds. Joining us are Myke Penney, Liam Hills, and John Gould. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for joining the pod. I checked out your online store today. It's very cool color combinations, the purple, pink, and the mint green. I really like it. It's quite outstanding. For fans, it's at thejailbirds.com/store. So you were added to the Spotify's Best Rock Songs of 2020. How cool was that?
That was pretty neat. I mean, again, it was unexpected, just like everything with that song. But it was just, yeah, we didn't know it was coming. And then actually, I think it was on the playlist for a little bit before we even realized. And I just kind of checked our account one day and was like, oh, there's this other playlist here. So yeah, they've been really good to us. Someone over there definitely is swinging for us. So that's really appreciated by us. We have no idea what we did, but thank you.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Like, I opened up Spotify and I was like, hey, we're on here and we didn't put us here. That's insane.
Yeah, we just woke up. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Well, you've racked up a lot of wins this last year, especially on Spotify. You reached over 150,000 streams and are getting your music out in 90 countries. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's this year has definitely been the best and the worst year for us in a lot of different ways. But like in terms of the streaming numbers, yeah, that's all just pushing it with our label, Golden Robot. Like they have a great PR side and they push it with us, and that's definitely the reason why, you know what I mean? It's just there's just work behind it on their end, and yeah, it's been great. It's been a really good experience.
Which track is getting the most streams? Watery Grave, Dull My Brain?
Watery Grave has the most. I think it's at like 130,000, something like that.
Yeah, something pretty big. Once it started getting up there, it kind of started throwing its own weight around, and it kind of just, I guess, snowballed from there, right?
The EPs you put out are narratives, very progressive rock, 70s feel, at least for me. What draws you to the concept album?
Really, like, for me personally, I think it comes down to it being a different kind of experience. Really, it like when you think about listening to it on like an album or like a record, for example. Like you listen to it front to back, and it takes you on a different kind of journey. And yeah, it's actually something that for this EP, it is a concept sort of EP, but we didn't really write it or plan it as such. It just kind of happened, which is interesting. Not that we didn't want it to happen or anything. It just kind of like fell in our laps. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. Here we go. Yeah, for me, I mean, it's pretty cool. A lot of my favorite bands have done stuff like that. Mastodon, the Beatles. I mean, it's all over the place. But yeah.
So which band influenced you the most in terms of using that approach?
I'm not sure. For me, I mean, it was really Liam's idea to make it a concept because he kind of was the one when we were picking the songs we were going to put. We had a bunch of songs over, I think we had like 11 songs or something that we were choosing from.
We had a lot.
Yeah, we were like narrowing it down to 5, right? Yeah, 5. And so Liam was the one that pointed out, oh, this if we put these 5 songs in this order, it kind of like flows in this sort of story. It's all like one story.
Yeah, lyrically they kind of tied together a little, like in a loose sense. If you put them back to back, it was all like, oh, like that leads me here, and the feel of this song at the end of the lyrics here leads me here, like Mike's saying.
Yeah, and then he said that, and I was like, shit, that's awesome. Why, like that's amazing. So I kind of took a look at the lyrics again and reworked them a little bit to actually make a little bit more sense, like cohesively together. But at the same time, we focused on like trying to make the songs stand alone as well. Like you wouldn't listen to one of these songs and it would make no sense. You know what I mean? They would all be fine on their own, but then at the same time, you can also if you're the kind of person like us that kind of likes to listen to records like front to back or likes to have more than one song as a piece of an experience, then this is for you. But also, if you like singles, this is for you as well, because that's kind of what we went for with this one.
Well, you definitely put out an album that represents itself like that, because you can listen to the single track or enjoy the story that you're telling. Can you talk about the story? Like, what concepts were you looking into, and why?
Yeah, when the EP this EP that's coming out, it'll that the whole concept is kind of following like a character. The Black River EP didn't really have sort of a concept. I guess the music flows. We paid attention to the music and how it flowed from song to song, because like I guess that was kind of the start of our sort of concept type of thing, or rather like the grand. It's not really more of a focus on concept records. It's more of a focus on from us on like making a full album or like a full piece of music that you can listen to front to back. Like that's what our favorite bands did, and that's what our favorite albums are. It's something that you can put on the whole thing, and every song is something that's cool. And we just tried to feel like that when we listened to our songs back, and tried to make something that we felt proud of. And I guess like kind of like it just kind of morphed into like the concept thing naturally because of that. And then the songs would flow in such a way, and then I guess it just kind of naturally happened where the concept thing came out. This specific EP being like it follows one character, and basically they're it's all mental health related basically. So they're struggling with, and it's some of the songs are fictional, some of them are a little bit more realistic. That's kind of what we like to do as well, is play with like kind of fictional stories and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it just follows the main character through different struggles, different times in his life. He's trying to figure himself out, and maybe move away and start a new life and change things up. And it's a roller coaster with this guy. So
yeah, and I think that's Mike. That's a really good way of putting it. The EP is essentially the way the songs are tied together. It's essentially like a roller coaster. You'll hear it when you listen to the whole EP front to back, but the songs kind of go up and down like a roller coaster would.
Do the personal experiences that you have, are they talked about or highlighted in the songs? Like, does it come from your own life or friends, or is it a general concept of like approaching mental health or other topics, or like addiction with dull my brain?
I mean, I would say for me, yes. I do struggle with a bit of anxiety, so I'd say not. The songs are not about me, or I don't think anyone of us three in particular, but they are definitely very relatable. If you're somebody that does struggle with any sort of addiction or any sort of anxiety or depression or unsurety in your life, then you'll definitely listen to the tracks and go, yeah, man, like I've definitely felt like this. Absolutely, you guys, like that. I can resonate with that.
Some people do yoga for 11 hours a day. Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, everybody's got a thing.
Right? You ever tried to hold downward dog for 30 seconds? It's hard.
I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm just saying that, it can be taken too far.
My mind keeps running and I can't stop it. Ooh, just one more time, numb the feeling for another moment.
Yeah. When I listened to the lyrics of Dumb My Brain,
like
I
any-
honestly saw that universal addiction that people struggle with. I didn't see drugs or alcohol, or I saw it as a universal thing that everybody has their thing. And everybody has, even if it's another person, some people are addicted to another person. So it's just the push
Mhm.
pull. That's what really stood out for me, was the love hate, the push pull. You know, you want it, but you know you don't need it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
it's really about the craving. It's about really like, yeah, thank you. That's really bang on. That's kind of what we went for as well. It's like, yeah, like it's not just about smoking weed or something like that. It could be about food. It could be about anything, anything that's addictive. You know what I mean? Because there's tons of addictions. Like, people sometimes maybe only think of hard drugs or something like that, but like there's plenty of unhealthy addictions that maybe seem harmless, right? Sugar even is a big one, right? Yeah, things like that.
So, what draws you guys to rock?
It's the best genre. It's I don't know. For me personally, I've never, like, I remember the moment that I first, like, actually experienced rock music, which was like AC/DC, Thunderstruck. It came on the radio, and it wasn't even like that loud or anything, but like it was just like, I remember that first. Nothing had grabbed my attention like that in my entire life until that moment. And I was the kid that would have trouble focusing, and then this thing was the thing that made me focus, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" And I was just addicted to it. I don't know. I heard Angus Young playing that guitar thing in the intro to Thunderstruck, and I was just like, I have to do that. I don't know why, but I have to create that somehow. And that was when I was like, I don't know, 12.
Is that when you picked up your first instrument?
Yeah, I literally was in the back seat of my parents' car. I was doing like taekwondo at the time, and we were on the way back from one of the classes or whatever, and that's when it came on, and I was just like, within seconds I heard it, like just the intro. I don't even think the vocals started yet, and I just piped up and I was like, yeah, I want to do guitar lessons. And they just kind of looked at me and they were like, what the hell, what do you mean? Like, it was out of nowhere, you know what I mean? It made no sense for me to say that. So it was kind of, it threw them off a little bit, and they were like, okay, yeah, sure. Because they were trying, like, thinking about it now, they were definitely trying to see what I was interested in, because they were enrolling me. Like, they enrolled me in like different like sports and different things like that. And I was nothing really ever caught on until guitar. And then I was like, then they would try to take it away from me. I was doing it so much, you know what I mean? But it was, that was kind of it. Rock music, that was the only thing that did that for me. I don't know. Nothing else tickled my fancy like that.
That's an awesome take on it. And Liam?
I don't know. For me, what kind of drew me to rock music, I guess early on, was just nothing really made me like as excited as rock music did. When I was a kid, I grew up in a house that my dad would cook music, and he would listen to Dean Martin. He would throw on a little bit of Bob Marley when he was cooking as well, stuff like that. And so I'd always listen to more, I guess, like soul music and big band music, reggae, funk, R&B when I was growing up. And then I heard rock music, and I was like, man, this hits me somewhere else. Like this gets me pumped, because reggae and big band and R&B and all that stuff is fantastic music, and it's definitely got its own feeling to it. But rock is, I don't know, man, rock music, it's emotional, it's powerful, it's a genre in itself. It stands alone as this kind of entity, and at the same time, rock music has also got this history, and it's a crazy history as well. So being able to be a part of that is just, it's nuts.
Well, it's definitely my preferred genre. My background, as all types of music, but it's I have the same experience as you guys. Me, it was actually in a basement, and somebody put on Led Zeppelin, and I was in. It was a house party, so I really get that. So now that you guys talked about what drew you to rock, what drew you together, how did you become a band?
Well, it all started in high school with Liam and myself. We had a band in high school together with some other friends. And then, long story short, people went off to college, and it kind of stuck around. But like, we had a few people come and go, and uh, the music we were writing changed. It was a lot more heavy and modern, and then it kind of turned into what it is now, which is a little bit more modern mixed with old school stuff. Um, so long story short, we kind of went, oh, let's change the name, restart, and we came up with the Jailbirds.
Okay. Can you guys talk to me about your uh, work or involvement with the artists for the Amazon?
Yeah, sure. The organizer, Katrina, she is a friend of ours, and she's helped us a number of times with our videos and stuff, taking some behind the scenes photos and helping out with other stuff, making the video and the sets and stuff. Um, but yeah, she's great. One of our friends, and she was organizing it with York University. And she just asked us if we wanted to be a part of it, and we said yeah, absolutely. It was a fundraiser to help uh, raise money, yeah, for the Amazon, and so it was something that was like a no brainer to us. We were just like, absolutely, we were going to use. Obviously, right now, like with COVID and everything, it was next to impossible to do it as like an actual show, and that's what we kind of wanted to do initially. But we all talked about it, and we just kind of decided on using like old footage from 2019, and I think it was cool. Yeah, it went really well. They raised a bunch of money, so yeah, all in all, it was awesome.
John, so how did you get into music?
So basically, I've been playing guitar for 12 years now, give or take, and I've always wanted to be in a band and just play shows and tour. And growing up, I'm a huge fan of all the classic rock bands, Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix, and I just kind of I really wanted to take it seriously, and so I went to school for music at Fanshawe College, and kind of started my own band there and started doing things. But I always felt that I never really got the chance to play in like I got to play lots of different styles of music, blues and indie rock and jazz and all kinds of stuff, but I never really got to play in just a kick-ass rock band and until now. So I've been very fortunate to find Myke and Liam, two really dedicated guys to jam with and write tunes with and have a great time. So it's that's kind of my story up until now, and I'm just enjoying every day I have of it.
Yeah, the Jailbirds is a very impressive band. One of my favorite indie bands. I love the guys' music. Love your music, Mike. I, but if you had to choose between Henrik's Page or Eddie Van Halen, where would be your pick?
For me, it would probably be Jimmy Page. Although I've kind of had moments in my life where I dove deep into all three of those guys' careers. Jimmy Page was always the one that resonated with me. Just his swagger and his Jimmy Page is the coolest guy on earth, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's just cool. He's so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that like super, raunchy blues inspiration that his playing just oozes. It's just so cool. So definitely Page for me.
And you, Mike?
I would have to pick Eddie Van Halen for sure. It's he's always inspired me. Although I haven't only recently have I gotten into Hendrix and Jimmy Page's stuff. Whereas like I've loved Van Halen since the beginning. Yeah, I don't know, something about it. I think it's just anybody can kind of
I think every guitar player is inspired by that guy. Honestly, like I don't think there's like a single guitar player that would say I don't like his playing. Like you can't really argue with it, in my opinion. He's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he was pretty incredible, and but each of them put, and well, Paige continues to be part of it, but Henrik's and Eddie really influenced a generation of guitar players with their music.
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, there's a huge shift.
Pardon me?
Oh yeah, no, I just said there was a huge shift after those guys. Like when their stuff came out, you can just hear a clear shift in everything else. Like it's pretty.
Yeah, it was more than just music. Like it was like the way people dressed. Like it was culture, everything. Like those two guys just had such an influence on music and pop culture throughout that throughout the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they have the energy of a rock star, but no, they definitely. To me, I think they're all good.
Oh yeah,
I think
100%.
Eddie Van Halen, I would think technically is probably the best of the three.
I'd agree.
But my favorite is Henrik's.
Yeah.
I just only maybe it's a nostalgia type thing, but that's part of the reason why I started gravitating from my roots of country and R&B into the rock world. So and Led Zeppelin. So John's new to the band. Myke, you said you wanted to add another member, and you added John. So tell us the backstory and how you found John. And
so we before we had the name the Jailbirds, we had another guitar player. One of our old friends played guitar, and like I kind of learned guitar with him growing up and stuff. And so we kind of like have had our ears open for another guitar player for a long time. We've tried jamming with other people, and actually it was kind of funny because when we weren't actively looking, we kind of stumbled upon John, and it's worked out really well. We just had played a show with his band before, and we just connected that way, and like on Facebook or whatever. And then one day, I think it was like 6 months later or something, I just saw a video of us playing. I think it was like a Guns N' Roses song or something. And the band that we played with, it wasn't that kind of music. It was more like indie rock kind of stuff. And so it wasn't like blues, heavy distorted guitars or anything like that. But then I saw this and I was like, okay, what the hell? Like, who's this guy? And then kind of saw some more videos, and then I was like, okay, like he obviously likes this style of music too. So I reached out, and we play really similarly. Like that's kind of what we were looking for, is like I just wanted to resonate similarly like I did with my old friend, because we had such a connection with our playing and stuff like that. We played so similarly, and I couldn't find that. Right. And then, John just came along, just walked on by, and then there he was.
Well, it'd be great to see the effect it has on the music with your different playing styles.
Yeah, no, it's like, I think that we have very similar playing styles, but at the same time, we're different as well. And so
definitely,
it's like, I think it's important for, if you're in the same band, if you have two guitar players or more guitar players, like you have to kind of think about it in the same way, in a certain way, but also you don't necessarily want to be exactly the same, right? Like,
right.
You want to have your own things going on and complement each other, and like, unless you're Thin Lizzy setting the amps the same way or something. So that's like an obscure example, of course.
You definitely have to be in the same ballpark. You can't be too different, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you think about like Malcolm and Angus, right? Like, basically Angus is just a little bit more gain, and then they have such similar playing styles, but at the same time,
for sure.
Like, that's definitely Malcolm's playing, and that's definitely Angus's playing. Like they have their own feel,
Yeah, they had their own way of approaching the stage too, different energy on the stage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You think you guys are going to be like that?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys live. Yeah,
that's
actually, you were
great.
on my to-do list before the summer last year hit. My husband and I were going to do the festival circuit, and they were one of the bands I wanted to look at. So, John,
Yeah, hopefully this summer,
okay, cool. John's influences. What music influenced you? Who influenced
man,
you? Was it a family member, a rock band?
So growing up, I think a lot of us are kind of influenced by what our parents were listening to when we were young. So growing up, my dad's always been a rock fan. His favorite bands are AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen. And so I was kind of exposed to it at a pretty young age and just sunk right into that. And then probably when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I found out that my dad's uncle was actually a blues guitar player based in Calgary. And I started listening to his stuff and really, really connected with that. So but I like all kinds of stuff. Like I love Stevie Wonder, and I love like lots of classic R&B. The Beatles, the Stones, everything. But for me, it's I just love guitar, everything guitar. So Jimmy Page was a huge influence on me. Van Halen, absolutely. All three of those guys that we just talked about, actually. And one of the biggest influences I've had was actually Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. Just his like power and his energy, and like that guy was just on fire every time he played. And he, people, a lot of the things he was playing were simple, pentatonic stuff, but because of his feel and because of his energy in that, no one sounds like him, and he's definitely one of my biggest influences for sure.
Well, if you look at a lot of the greats, even up and coming indie bands that are doing really well, if you look at the band, a lot of it has to do with the energy of the band. I actually don't believe in pigeonholing into genres at all. I listen to all music like you. And I mean, to me, music is energy, basically. And it either speaks to you or it doesn't. So I can listen to opera or hard rock or rap or
exactly
electronic. It's the message that comes from the artist that gets to me, not the particular genre. So,
right.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. So you guys have a music video coming out.
Yeah. So yeah, our video, we have a music video for "I Will Move On." It's already out. It came out on February 2nd, and it accompanied our single there. And yeah, we had a watch party on January 31st to like kind of give a sneak peek before everything came out, and yeah, it was awesome.
So the cover artwork for I saw that for the "I Will Move On." Who did that artwork?
His handle on like Instagram and stuff is B Wild Brother. Yeah, his name's Agelos, and he's from I believe he lives in Athens, Greece. I know he's from Greece, but I believe he's in Athens. And yeah, he's fantastic. He's done all of our single arts and our EP art for this run, and he's been wonderful. We just send him lyrics and kind of like maybe a rough idea, and I don't even think we sent him the song for this one, but he just came up with this perfect piece of art like he always does. It's really great. We're super happy to be working with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it, and it is outstanding.
Yeah.
And what he did before for Watery Grave and your other songs.
When he sent us Watery Grave, oh man, we were just like, what the hell? Like he just
it's so wicked, man. Like
just destroyed it. It was so good.
Yeah, that was a good one. Well, it's good to know. Myke, I was trolling your Facebook. What about the Stage Master cases? It's a Canadian company, right? You
Oh,
bought? Yeah.
They're a Canadian company. I'm not sure where they're based out of. I want to say it's near Toronto, but I'm not exactly sure.
I think it's Toronto. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's a small operation. If I'm not wrong about that. I think it's only a few people or something, but they do amazing work. I've just had a few cases built by them for my amps and stuff like that, and they just they're super helpful, and they just do really, really good stuff. And yeah,
I saw the pictures. They do look amazing, and that's why I wanted to give them a shout out on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, check them out, guys.
So talk about the making of the video for "I Will Move On."
Yeah, so we went to our buddy Cody, who does all of our videos, Red Truck Pictures. That's his handle. He knows a guy. I believe I can't even remember. I think maybe it was his cousin or his friend or something like that. And he owns this property with a big garage on it. And so we just kind of set up shop in his garage for the day and put up a big old screen behind us, set up all our amps and everything, and shot the video all within what was it, like maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that. It's pretty fast. We planned it like that too, because we've done like the Dull My Brain video, for example. That was like a really long shoot, and it was a bigger scale of things, and we've done like videos like that before, like with the Black River and stuff like that. And with COVID and everything this time around, it was just like, how do we do something that's awesome but quickly and efficiently, right? So that was all Cody. He's a mastermind behind the camera. So we're lucky to have him on our team as well. We just kind of hand it off to him, and he just does an excellent job every time.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with his work. I've been following him since you guys been putting out videos with him doing it, and outstanding work and very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah.
So lead into the track, I Will Move On.
So I Will Move On. This is a song that I think we might have played it live like maybe once or twice before, but not really. It's like a relatively new song for us in that way. We recorded it at the same time as like a bunch of other music back in 2019. We did it back then, and it even though it was written back then, it kind of like holds, like the message of the song kind of rings true with today's situation, if you will, because it's really about feeling kind of stuck and finding the power to get out of it and move on, right? And that's kind of like the gist of the whole thing. And so I'm sure a lot of people can relate to the feeling of feeling locked up right now, and can't do the things that might be necessary, or making them not go insane or something, right? I'm definitely feeling that way.
Well, that's the biggest understatement of 2021. I know people definitely need that. They definitely need live music. Like to me, that would be the best remedy and the best fix. your music has set from the early releases into today, and the track we just listened to, there seems to be an evolution. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it naturally comes about with any band. I mean, I guess that's not necessarily true. I guess we just kind of sorted out. We started out with our thing with the mindset of always trying to be better and always trying to just get that, take that next step with our playing and with our songwriting, and always learning from other people. I think a big thing as well is a lot of bands evolve after they play a lot more together, and that's just kind of what happened with us. Just like any band, you play a lot more shows, you rehearse a lot more, you just grow as a person, as a musician, and all these things, and it just comes out in the music that way. And yeah, that's kind of, I mean, it's something that we kind of wanted to happen. Absolutely. Like it's always just about, at the end of the day, when we listen back to it, are we proud of it? Are we happy with it? Would we listen to that in the car or something like that? You know what I mean? And if it checks those boxes, then we're happy. Yeah.
And what about collaborations that you've done? I've noticed that Red Truck Pictures has done most, if not all, of your videos. Outstanding work. Can you talk a bit about the work and collabs you've done with them and how it comes about?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Yeah, so Red Truck Pictures is actually it's a company single-handedly owned by a guy named Cody Bachman. And he kind of stumbled upon us, and we kind of stumbled upon him. He is from London, Ontario, and we do most of our work with him up there. But as, of course, all this crap is going down, we've been kind of restricted with what we can and can't do. So he's piecing together stuff for us as he can, and he's really working wonders for our social media and our video and all of our pictures. He's the guy that does all of our photo shoots as well, or most of them. And we've been working with him for, I'd say, probably 2 years, if that's accurate. And I think one of the earlier ones he did with us was our Juno video, where we played the Juno Fest, and he kind of recorded that for us, and we were really impressed with his work, and we just kind of we were like, hey man, like, you're really good, and we like the stuff you do, and we want to help you grow, and you want to help us grow. Why not work together? So that's kind of where it came from and where it's going. So we see a long, healthy relationship with Red Truck Pictures as he grows as an artist, and as we grow as an artist.
Well, he definitely did a good job with Watery Grave. So next time we're going to hear about Watery Grave. Can one of you sort of give us a rundown on the song?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Watery Grave. Watery Grave is it's a fun song. First of all, it's one of the fictional songs that we were talking about earlier in the cast, and it's, if you want to look at it literally, it's about a guy who is kind of looking for something, and in the end he thought he found it, but he didn't, and it ends up hurting him in the long run. If you want to look at it fictionally, it's about a guy, a pirate or a sailor, and he's out at sea, and he falls in love with a mermaid, and the mermaid eventually tricks him into believing that she is the love of his life, and he needs to go away with her and all that stuff, and he eventually he takes a plunge, he jumps overboard, and it turns out that was a horrible idea, and she kills him. And that's kind of the story. It's a fun song. It's one of the ones one of our earlier songs that we wrote, actually. It's one of the older ones.
Yeah, it's a little lighter. It's it's one of the oldest ones too, for sure. It that one, Watery Grave, is actually number 4. It's chapter number 4. And then I Will Move On, the one we just talked about, is number 5. So that's the song that follows Watery Grave on the record. And so you can kind of see like what Liam was just talking about there, like he thought it was good for him. It wasn't. It made it worse. And then I Will Move On is about taking that and being in that situation. Now we're in that context, and what are we doing with that? And it's like, I'm gonna still try to find a way past this kind of thing, right? Like that's kind of what now that all these 3 songs are out, we have 2 left, and so we're just gonna fill the gap with the story here with the full EP.
So what can we expect in 2021 from the Jailbirds?
Well, we are going to be releasing our full EP, which is another 2 songs and some other cool stuff along with that. That is pretty much the only 100% for certain thing. Everything else depends on the state of the world, and if we can safely do shows and all that kind of stuff. We want to play shows, obviously, like we're itching to, but yeah, we can't yet. So I mean, that's the biggest thing with any band's release is playing shows. So it kind of sucks that we can't with this one, but we're just making the best of it, like everybody else, and it's all we can do, and it's gonna be great. And yeah, if there's any shows that come up, obviously you can see them from our social media pages and such. We'll obviously be talking about them if anything comes up, but right now it's just that COVID has really messed up the music industry.
Yeah, pretty badly. But I mean, at the same time, we're also able to really now hunker down in the jam space and really kind of focus on writing some really pretty wicked tracks.
Absolutely.
Whereas before, because we were gigging so much, it was just kind of like we would make a song when it kind of happened in the middle of kind of gigging, right? Or when we were like tuning up before set, we would jam. So now I guess we've been given an interesting opportunity where we can really write some cool stuff and like actually delve into the songs and go, okay, that riff we wrote, is it good? Like, is it good enough to continue expanding upon? Or like these lyrics, I wrote these, are these lyrics cohesive? But now we have a lot of time to go back and fix it. So I think in the future to come, there'll be a lot more in-depth songs coming out, like a lot of strong songs that will come out of the Jailbirds in the next year or so.
That's awesome. I think it's actually sort of like a timeout. Not expected, not fun, but a lot of artists are creating like you wouldn't believe. I speak to artists on a daily, and the amount of energy they're putting into writing new music is outstanding and commendable, given the situation. So before we go, where's the best place to find and follow you?
The best place to follow us for all of our updates and such is Facebook and Instagram, facebook.com/the Jailbirds. And our Instagram handle is the Jailbirds Band. And then that's mainly where we're posting a lot. You can also follow us on Spotify. Just type in the Jailbirds and you'll find us. Apple Music is the same. But yeah, those are the 2 main hubs for us. Our website is thejailbirds.com. You can find our store there and all the other info. Yeah, that's where we're hanging out most of the time.
It was great getting to know you all better. Thank you for coming on the show. I had a lot of fun with the band.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to the Buzzr Pod. Next episode is February 11th. Chris Senador, frontman for the band Summersick, is our guest. The band hails from Atlanta, Georgia. The surf rock band puts out splendid music reminiscent of the Strokes and early Duran Duran. We get to meet Chris and get behind-the-scenes talk about the band's current releases. So catch you at the pod on February 11th. On Air Indie from iPad to yours over the airways. Subscribe feeds are at thebuzzrpod.com. Cheers.